Good day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Penrose, and if it's your first time here, you are welcome, guys. And if you are returning, thank you so much for the continued support. Guys, this news that Zimbabwe has freed prisoners, including those sentenced to death, and on their Independence Day. So, guys, I am very, very concerned. I was when I saw this, I was like, what? Come on, guys, Zimbabwe, Mnangagwa, what are you doing, honestly? This is not fair for us because, guys, this doesn't just end in Zimbabwe. It stretches further to other countries. And I got this from ABC News. They're saying President Emmerson Mnangagwa granted clemency to more than 4,000 prisoners, including some who were on death row in an Independence Day amnesty on Thursday. Zimbabwe marked 44 years of independence from white minority rule, which ended in 1980 after a bloody bush war. The country's name was changed from Rhodesia to Zimbabwe. The presidential amnesty, the second in less than a year, benefits females, older and juvenile inmates, the terminally ill, and some who were originally sentenced to death. Those ones on death row, but who had their sentence commuted to life terms in previous clemency orders or through court appeals are to be freed, provided they've been in prison for at least 20 years, according to the clemency order, which was announced on Wednesday, and due to take effect on Thursday. All female prisoners who had served at least a third of their sentence by Independence Day are being freed, as are juvenile inmates who have served the same period. Prisoners aged 60 and older who've served 1/10 of their sentences will also be released. Mnangagwa also pardoned the blind and other disabilities who've served a third of their sentence. The prisoners are being released in batches across the country. However, those jailed for specified offences that include sexual offences, robbery, public violence, unlawful possession of firearms, human trafficking and theft or vandalism of electricity and telecommunication infrastructure won't benefit from the amnesty. All death row prisoners who've been jailed for at least 10 years had their sentences commuted to life in prison under the amnesty. Zimbabwe has more than 60 inmates on death row. It wasn't immediately clear how many of those had their sentences commuted to life under the amnesty. Zimbabwe is one of more than a dozen countries in Africa and more than 50 across the world that have the death penalty. Although the country's last hanging was in 2005, Mnangagwa says he supports abolishing the death penalty, a move which was backed by the cabinet in February and is now awaiting approval from Parliament. Mnangagwa freed more than 4,000 prisoners in another clemency order last May, aimed at decongesting the southern African nation's overcrowded prisons, where conditions are usually harsh. At the time, Zimbabwe had about 22,000 prisoners crammed into prisons with a capacity of 17,000. Guys, like, honestly, to tell you the truth, I got scared when I saw this. I was like, come on, Zimbabwe, do you still remember the deal that you guys signed with Botswana about crossing of borders? I was like, come on, we're in for it this time around. Yeah, this means trouble. It may mean trouble, guys, but yeah, as I was going through the story, I realized that, okay, fine, those bad prisoners, those terrible ones, they might not have a chance to come out. But I'm so grateful about what they've done for the blind and people living with disabilities, guys. Even though we can say they were old enough when they were actually committing their offenses. Yeah, so let's pray, guys. I really hope this won't cause problems for the neighboring countries, because these guys are going to flood into South Africa. They are going to flood into Botswana. They are going to flood into Namibia, into Zambia. We are definitely in trouble. Even Mozambique, guys. All these neighboring countries, we are going to have a feel of the people. But anyway, please let me know what are your thoughts regarding the story, guys, in the comment section. Remember to give this video a like and a share, and consider subscribing.
The most important thing is that I've learned to be patient. And in life, you have to wait as things will happen at the right time. In terms of skills, I learned to sew, we learned to make bags. God knows why I was in jail, and I was released earlier. So I'm grateful and happy. It was not a good place for me. Even my children, when I was committing crime, I was not thinking clearly. Now I'm back to my senses. I want to thank the President for releasing us from this place and showing leniency. My advice to those outside is to stop selling drugs.